Wow. My first impression was, wow. I like to think that there's not much that can surprise me in the game of baseball anymore, but that got kicked to the curb a long time ago because I think as long as you're in the game of baseball, things are going to happen that surprise you. Funny enough, maybe a week, 10 days ago, I'm listening to my buddy Sean Casey, and he threw out a number, 700 million. I went, whatever. And of course, he let everybody know that he nailed it. Yeah. And I can't even say it was higher than I anticipated. I didn't know where they're going to land this thing. I've heard all the comparisons since then. It's a vintage Pedro Martinez and a vintage this. And the one aspect that nobody else has ever had before, from my perspective, is the global marketing opportunity that this guy has and brings with him. I've read a couple articles how the 700 million will all be taken care of 2 years from now. Well, let's see if that math all works out. But there's people that are out there on both sides of the fence on this thing that it's crazy. It just the math ain't mathing. I'm hearing that a lot. The math's not mathing. And then I'm hearing it makes all the sense in the world because of A, B, C, and D. How many jerseys are going to be sold before Christmas? Number 17 jerseys. What kind of gift? Is it Joe Kelly? What kind of gift is the player that's wearing 17 going to get from Shohei? That's what I want to know. That's going to be large. And then the fact that I read something the other day, maybe this morning, that Derek Jeter's jersey was the second highest selling jersey in 2023.
Really?
Derek Jeter retired a few years ago. And his jersey was the second highest. So what is Shohei's jersey? The sales that are going to take place over the period of the contract, everything else out there. It's crazy. It's just a lot, man. It's like drinking from a fire hose, but I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the ride.
Were you surprised at all it was the Dodgers?
No, but again, it wouldn't have surprised me if somebody would have come in. It seems like those things are happening a little bit more frequently now within our game. Actually, some people are able to keep the wraps on some things. And also, I read a lot. And I will say this, I read one of the columnists that I follow said 95% of the time that news is leaked, it's leaked from the agents. And I would have no trouble digesting that as truth. In all mine, I haven't negotiated with agents, but I've been with the general manager while he's negotiating with an agent. And there's three of us that know what's going on. And maybe the information got out. And I know it wasn't my general manager because he's not allowed to. And I wouldn't know it wasn't me because I was sitting next to him. So you don't know where it comes. But I think more often than not, that is the leak that can happen. And who knows? If you have a small circle, you better keep it small.
Yeah.
Because, you even tell your aunt or your uncle or it's your sister and who knows who she knows and just. So I would not have been surprised if somebody would have come out of a different geographic location and grabbed him. I did find a lot of folly in the tracking of the airplane.
Yeah.
And I hear that guy's still available to be signed as a free agent. I think he's still out on the market. So if you want to go get Robert, I'm sure he'd jump on board if you can cut through the tape of his, Shark Tank contract.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it a lot. I mean, and it was somewhat comical. I got a few people. I saw Morosi's apology. Bless his heart.
Yeah.
I know a girl that runs a Denver podcast, Susie Hunter. She got out there real quick and she understood the lesson that can be learned and all that. And, we're going to say something that everybody else has said, but for many years now, it's been, you don't have to be right. You just have to be first.
Yeah.
And I do think this exposed a lot of cracks in our ability to communicate, and not just, the media, but for this one, the media had to wear it. I like the fact that integrity still matters. And I do love the fact that Shohei and his agent said they were going to run this thing the whole way their way. They did. So well done.
Well, Shohei's still not 30 years old. He's 29. And the thing you referenced about, I think it was Jason Stark of the Athletic, said that he's comparable to Pedro Martinez and Mickey Mantle at age 29, which is pretty impressive. Now, I'm out here, so I've been watching him with the Angels since he showed up. And I can remember when he, one off-season, went to Driveline to work on a swing and came back not a little bit better, but a lot better. And I know some of the driveline guys pretty well, and one of them that had to sign a non-disclosure so he could work with them that winter. I wouldn't be surprised if the Dodgers help him get even better. I really wouldn't with offensively. Now, got to figure out the arm thing, right? I mean,
Oh, I think they will. I mean, he won't be the first guy to have, had multiple as
yeah,
number two Tommy John surgeries and come back and to be able to pitch and pitch effectively. I mean, then they'll just probably have to choose which lane they want to live in. Do they want to start him every 5 days to maximize the bat? Do they want to put him in the back end of the bullpen and use him maybe as an opener or as a closer, where you can use him 2 times a week, three maybe? And they'll figure all that out, I'm sure. I do like the fact that you were out there, you've heard it. I mean, he's another guy that came from the Pacific Rim. First year in, I mean, I read stuff. I didn't know him. I hadn't seen him, and he was getting toasted. I can remember watching Ichiro the first spring training that he came to the desert. And watching him, I went out specifically to watch his BP and watch all of it because I was just, oh, man, I got to see this. And it was not of the quality that it sure turned out to be. It was a lot less than early, as Shohei's was, but it just goes to show. My goodness, can we imagine what they go through to come over for the first time? They get out of their natural surroundings, their comfort zone in 12 different places, and then jump in over here under the scrutiny, the media coverage, everything else. And if they don't get off to a quick start or a good start or a fantastic start, they get barbecued. And I think Shohei just showed the ability to work through the first injury. The Angels took care of him. Obviously, it was a good relationship of ours facilitating his ability to train and get ready and perform. And I'm sure that will all be relayed, the information to the Dodgers, and we'll see where it goes. But I just love the fact that also this guy's funny. He has a sense of humor. I've pulled up a few things since then, and I loved how Freddie Freeman and Mookie were talking when they were Mike during the All-Star game, talking about how this guy just continues to get better. In regards to your comment, he just continues to get better. Well, how about that threesome? I think it was my buddy Anthony said great things come in threes, Three Musketeers, all the different threes, and then now the three Dodgers. Oh my gosh. And we'll see how it plays out. The best players don't always play on the best teams. And it's your nine. It's your best nine, not your nine best. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a crazy dynamic that, like I said, I'm going to just sit back and enjoy the ride.